Yeah, I think I poorly phrased that question, so that's my fault. And I guess functionality in sort of one sort of product offering, but I know that the way they are structured is they have additional sorts of, I guess, products, like you were talking about royalties and other things. Mm-hmm. Did Summit, over the 15 years expand what they were using Vistex for business purposes, or was it largely the same as what they had sort of first implemented Vistex for at the beginning, like you had outlined the vendor contracts and the incentives and things of that nature?
Each one of these that I mentioned was a step in time. The last one that we implemented was actually the sales rebate process, and up to that point we hadn't done it. But all of the work that we did initially was probably, I'm trying to put a time frame around, was within the first 5 years of having the Vistex product. So, again, there's a time fence for each one of these. And so it wasn't all at once. So I apologize to give you that impression. It was one after the other, and from start to finish, it was 4 or 5 years and continually adding products. They have another product that we considered recently. So it was released, I think, last September. So there's another product that we looked at that as far as a category, a product that we don't currently have, something that is very new to us as well. So we could have added that, and then there's licensing and fees associated with whatever you want to add. But again, all the enhancements to the IP side, as long as you own Vistex and you pay your annual contract or whatever it is, you can get the release and then the new service packs and install the new functionality and the new parts and pieces. However,
that makes sense.
Different directions. I can tell you what the product is, but it is sold separately at this point, which is Vibes, VIBES, and that's more of a portal, a communication portal between customer and vendor, even individuals, and so it's a pathway to communicate with one another and share information in the cloud about the rebate filings, as opposed to doing it an old EDI way, which is, even when I came around, EDI was old. Now, it still works, but there's not as many people that are very fluid in EDI any longer. So a new methodology of being able to communicate back and forth with vendors, with customers, with salespeople.
And did Summit put in that technology, or did it pass on bringing that technology on?
No, not that Summit passed. It just the decision wasn't made before I left.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And I think one of the last questions was around, I know you noted like you just paid sort of the annual fee and any of the other sort of license items. But did you use any sort of service offerings that Vistex offered, whether it was sort of consulting services or analytical services that are not, that are third-party sort of almost consulting services and not technology offerings?
We did leverage them a couple of times early on, probably in those first 4 or 5 years, and then we became very proficient at their space, in their space, so it wasn't really necessary. But when you have the annual fee, there's a level of support associated with that. You can always go to Service Marketplace, and you not being an SAP customer, there's a portal, it's called Service Marketplace, where if you have issues or problems, you submit a ticket basically through SAP Service Marketplace, and you can point the ticket directly to Vistex, or you can just pick up the phone and call them. If they're going to make some changes for you, they typically want a real ticket so they can track it. But there's a level of support that's